President, are you ready to take the constitutional oath? If you will place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, and please repeat after me. I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I, Harry S. Truman.
I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, do solemnly swear.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Faithfully execute the office of the Presidency of the United States.
And will,
to the best of my ability,
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
For more than 200 years, American citizens have witnessed the inauguration of the President and Vice President of the United States. From the first inauguration of George Washington in 1789 to the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, in 2017. Inaugurations from 1733 to 1933 were held on March 4th. The 20th Amendment to the United States Constitution, ratified on January 1933, states, "The terms of the President and Vice President shall end at noon on the 20th of January." While they are sworn in during the same ceremony, the President and the Vice President take different oaths.
I, Michael Richard Pence, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Article 2 of the Constitution specifies a presidential oath, but does not state what the oath for Vice President should be. Article 6 of the Constitution, however, states other executives and members of Congress, quote, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, unquote. But in 1884, Congress decided the Vice Presidential oath will be the same oath of office given to members of Congress and other government officials. In 1789, the first Congress made it a simple 14-word oath. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. The current oath is a product of the 1860s, drafted during the Civil War by members of Congress intent upon rooting out traitors. The outbreak of the Civil War quickly transformed the routine act of taking an oath into one of enormous importance. In April of 1861, President Lincoln ordered all federal civilian employees within the executive branch to take an expanded oath much like the oath today. Congress convened for a brief emergency session in July of 1861. It enacted legislation requiring federal employees to take the expanded oath in support of the Union. When Congress returned for its regular session in December 1861, it revised the oath, adding a new first section known as the Ironclad Test Oath. It was signed into law on July 2, 1862, and required every person elected or appointed to any office, except the President of the United States, to swear or affirm that they had never previously engaged in criminal or disloyal conduct. The second section of the oath incorporated a more polished and graceful rendering of the oath that is used today. But during the Civil War, many were angered by those who refused taking the oath. Republican members of Congress were determined to prevent the eventual return of Democrat Southern leaders to positions of power in the national government, and in 1864 succeeded in making the test oath mandatory for all members. As tensions cooled during the years following the Civil War, Congress enacted private and public legislation permitting former Confederates to take only the second section of the oath. Northerners immediately pointed to the new law's unfair double standard that required those loyal to the Union to take the test oath's first section, while permitting ex-Confederates to ignore it. In 1884, Congress quietly repealed the first section of the test oath, leaving intact Section 2 as the current oath given to members of Congress and the Vice President.